All right, everybody. Today we're taking a look at polynomial division. So we've added, subtracted, and multiplied polynomials. Now we're physically going to divide them. So the reason we wait to do this one separately is because it's not always necessarily the easiest concept to grasp, but once you understand the process, hopefully just practicing it a lot will pull it together for you. The expectation, you're going to learn two methods today. You're going to learn long division, which is just like what you think it is, okay? And we're also going to do synthetic division, which is super related to synthetic substitution. You're going to love to do one way more than the other way, but come a test or a skill check, the expectation is that you know how to do both of these methods of division. So, the first thing we need to talk about is the dividend versus the divider. So the dividend is always the number that's being divided. So here's the dividend. And then the divisor is the number or the polynomial expression that is doing the dividing. So that's our divisor. Whoops. Divisor. And so for long division, hopefully you remember that we would write a symbol that looks like this. On the inside, we would put the dividend. So the dividend is x squared plus 3x minus 43. On the outside, you always put the divisor, so x plus 8. So how does long division work? Long division is going to work by first stating with the x value, what x can we multiply to make x squared? Okay, so you always have to ask yourself that. In this case, x times x would make x squared. So then what we do is you take both of the two terms in the divisor and you multiply it by the value that we decided. So that would give us out x squared plus 8x. And we put it right underneath the dividend. Okay. From here, it's always subtraction. So you're subtracting the terms down, which is why we needed to get an x squared, because we needed to do x squared minus x squared. So that's how we decided on that x. So x squared minus x squared gives us 0. Okay, that's great. And then 3x minus 8 gives us negative 5x. All right. You then drop down the next term. So you drop down negative 43. And then you repeat the process. You say, what do I need to multiply x by in order to get negative 5x? Okay, well, hopefully you said negative 5. So we put negative 5 here. And then again, we multiply both terms by negative 5. So that would give us negative 5x. And then that's going to be minus 40. And then we put equal sign there. And then we have to remember it is subtraction. So negative 5x minus negative 5x is going to be 0. And then negative 43 minus negative 40 would be negative 43 plus 40. So that would become negative 3. All right. So when you take this polynomial and you divide it by x plus 8, what you get is x minus 5. And then what's left over is called the remainder. We know that this is left over because we can't multiply x by anything to get negative 3. So that's how we knew to stop. So then the remainder is negative 3 or minus 3 over, and then the divisor, x plus 8. All right. Or you could write it like this, x minus 5 plus negative 3 over x plus 8. Either way is a great way to write this solution. Okay. The reason we put that negative 3 divided by x plus 8 is because this term is still getting divided by the outside. Okay. So let's do it the synthetic division method. So if we're doing synthetic, it's the big L. All right, on the inside, we put all the coefficients just like before. So 1, 3, negative 43. You wouldn't skip if it was like x cubed to 3x. You would need to put a 0 for the x squared. You still need to put the 0 placeholders. All right. What goes on the outside, though, is what the divisor x value is equal to, right? So if we set this equal to 0, you subtract 8 from both sides, that gives you x equals -8. That is the number that goes on the outside. So we put -8 right here. And now we do synthetic substitution. So you drop the 1 straight down. You take -8, you multiply it by 1. That gives you -8. And then this one is addition. So 3 plus -8 gives us -5. Again, you take -8, you multiply by -5. That gives you 40. You add again. -43 plus 40 is -3. Okay. And then how this works to write the polynomial expression that we get from this, you need to start on the far right side. No, you want to start on the far left side, sorry. You're starting down here, and it always goes one exponent lower than the one that we started with. So we're going to say the first term is x, and then the next term would be a constant, and then the last term would be the remainder. Okay? You could go right to left, knowing that the right side is always the remainder, and then the constant comes next, and then the x follows that. If it would keep going, it would be x squared, x cubed, so on and so forth. All right? So this tells us what the solution would be. It would be 1 times x, and then plus, or you could just say minus 5, and then the remainder is -3 over x plus 8. All right? So as you can see, when you do synthetic division, you get the same exact answer. And it's probably a little less confusing, right? So those are 2 methods of dividing polynomial functions. There actually is one more, and that's the factoring method, where sometimes you can just factor and terms cancel. So let's try that here. So we have 2x is one of the terms, x is the other term, and this is being divided by x minus 5. All right, well, I literally told you that one of the terms is going to cancel. So this has to be x minus 5, which makes this 3 over here a positive. So that would make -10x plus 3x. All right, and then dividing, the x minus 5s would cancel, and you would be left with 2x plus 3 as your final term. So it's really nice when things factor and cancel. Definitely the easiest way to do that question. If you wanted to check yourself, you could do synthetic really quick to also get the same solution. You could even do long division and get the same exact solution. I can even show those at the end if you're still struggling after watching the next 2 questions. So the directions say use long and synthetic division to divide the polynomials below. So let's do exactly that. To set up the long division, this is the symbol that we build. Dividend goes on the inside, so we have 2n squared minus 16n plus 14. On the outside, you put the divisor, which in this case is n minus 7. And then you ask yourself, what do I need to multiply n by to get 2n squared? In this case, if you multiplied n by 2n, right, this would give us 2n squared. You also have to multiply 2n by -7 to get -14n. What happens next is always subtraction. You subtract down. 2n squared minus 2n squared makes 0. -16 minus -14, so that would really be plus 14, would be -2n. And then you drop down the positive 14 at the end here. And then you do it again. You ask yourself, what do I need to multiply n by in order to get -2n? Well, you need to multiply it by -2. So that's going to give us -2n plus 14. And then we do subtraction once more. -2n minus -2n, which would be -2n plus 2n, so that's 0. 14 minus 14 is also 0. So this is telling us our remainder is actually just 0. So the solution is 2n minus 2. And you can rewrite that, or you can just leave it at the top, whichever you would prefer. All right, let's do synthetic division and make sure we get the same exact answer. So we build synthetic. The n minus 7 needs to be set equal to 0. That tells us n is 7, which is this value on the outside. On the inside, we put the coefficients of each term. So that's 2, negative 16, and 14. Drop the 2. You do 7 times 2, which gives you 14. And then synthetic division is always adding. So negative 16 plus 14 is going to be negative 2. Gives you negative 14. And you add again, which would give you 0. As always, you go from right to, or it doesn't matter which way you go. Okay, left to right, right to left. So you can go remainder, and then the constant term, and then x. So that gives us 2x minus 2. And then the remainder is 0. Well, in this case, it's n, so we should probably use n. So 2n minus 2, and there's our solution. All right. Okay. Number 4. So number 4, a little bit more unique. Here we have 8x to the 4th power, negative 64x cubed. Notice it skips the x squared. Even though it skips it, we still put the placeholder. So plus 0x squared plus 3x minus 28. There's the dividend. The divisor being x minus 8. And now we ask ourselves, what do we multiply x by in order to get 8x to the 4th? Well, that would be multiplied by 8x cubed. So 8x cubed would give us 8x to the 4th. And that is going to be negative 64x cubed, actually. And then we do subtraction down. So you minus 8x to the 4th minus 8x to the 4th gives you 0. Negative 64x cubed minus negative 64x cubed is going to also give us 0. You drop down the 0x squared. Okay, we can't do anything with that. So let's drop down the 3x and the negative 28, because this is still just 0. So then we go 3x. X times 3 would give us 3x, so we would just say plus 3 here. So that is going to give us 3x. 3 times negative 8 gives us negative 24. And then again, it's subtraction. So we subtract 3x minus 3x is 0. Negative 28 minus a negative 24 would give us negative 4. And this negative 4 is our remainder, because we can't multiply x by anything to get negative 4. So the solution, we get 8x cubed plus 3 minus 4 over x minus 8. And there's our solution. Let's check it with synthetic now. So synthetic, we're coming through here like this. We have positive 8 on the outside. And then we have 8, negative 64, 0, 3, and negative 28. Remember, the 0 comes from 0x squared. You always have to have that in synthetic. Drop the 8 to get just 8. 8 times 8 is 64. Addition tells us negative 64 plus positive 64 is 0. 8 times 0 gives us 0. 0 plus 0 also gives us 0. 8 times 0 again gives us 0. So 3 plus 0 is 3. 8 times 3 is going to be 24. Negative 28 plus 24 is negative 4. So then that's the remainder, the constant, the x squared, and the x cubed. So we have 8x cubed plus 3 minus 4 over x minus 8. Okay? So whenever you're doing synthetic, you need to do addition. So this is adding. Whenever you do long division, this is subtracting. All right? That's probably the thing that people get most confused about. They're always like, oh, am I supposed to add or am I supposed to subtract? All right? So that's all the notes for today. If you're feeling good, go ahead and start the homework. I'm going to come back up here and do this method number 3 by long division in synthetic, just to show you one more example. So long division, we have 2x squared minus 7x minus 15. symbol, x minus 5. We say, well, if we multiply x by 2x, that would give us 2x squared. So that's 2x squared minus 10x. It's always subtraction here. So 2x squared minus 2x squared is 0. Negative 7x minus negative 10x would be positive 3x, because that's negative 7 plus 10x, really. And then negative 15 gets dropped down. 3 times x would give us 3x, so plus 3. So that's 3x, and that would be 3 times negative 5, which is negative 15, so that's 0, 0. So then our answer, as expected, is 2x plus 3. On the synthetic division side, we would have to go positive 5 on the outside, 2, negative 7, negative 15 on the inside. Drop the 2. 5 times 2 is 10. Negative 7 times 10 is going to be positive 3. 5 times 3 is 15, which gives us 0. So remainder, constant, and x. So that's 2x plus 3 once again. All right. So I hope this gives you a great idea of how to do long division and synthetic division. If you have any questions, please feel free to message me on Canvas. I would love to help out. I hope you guys have a great day.